And we are now watching the excellent performance of the ballet on shoulder.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
I can't do that.
1.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
Yeah.
0.
Well done. There you go.
You know, that's one of the things, you know, when people talk about their mother tongue,
Yeah,
do you know what? You would always count in your mother tongue.
absolutely.
Always.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
多謝晒廣東省群星藝術團啊，咁精彩嘅演出。我哋啱啱睇過呢個好非一般嘅芭蕾舞嘅表演啊，咁呢個呢就係肩上芭蕾舞啊。Thank you for the excellent performance of the ballet on shoulder. Thank you, dancers. 一路睇嘅時候呢，大家係咪有覺得好優雅，但係呢都有少少驚心動魄啊，即係非一般嘅芭蕾舞蹈嘅演出啊！咁啊，當然啦，講到驚心動魄，我哋稍後時間啦，就會今日有5場啊，好精彩嘅羽毛球決賽咧，會送俾大家㗎。我哋亦都喺度多謝各位主禮嘅嘉賓啊，再次多謝你哋。啱啱提過啦，今日咧我哋又會有5場啦，好精彩嘅羽毛球嘅決賽送俾大家。咁啊，稍後時間啦，第一場我哋會睇到咧就係一場女雙嘅決賽嚟嘅。咁除咗女雙之外啦，我哋今日咧嗰個項目啦，咁啊女雙之後咧，我哋就會有女單嘅比賽，然後會有男單，跟住咧就係混雙同埋男雙咧，一共5場嘅比賽咧，同大家一齊去欣賞㗎。咁當然啦，運動員都要少少時間咧嚟到去準備啊。咁不如喺呢個時候啦，我哋都一齊咧欣賞翻啦，我哋過去啊香港公開羽毛球錦標賽啦一啲好精彩嘅片段，咁啊喚起翻啦大家一啲嘅回憶先啊！ 好啦，我哋透過我哋場館啦、大電視咧，亦都咧重溫咗啦。過往我哋呢一個羽毛球比賽好多好精彩、好動人嘅片段啦。其實嚟到今屆嘅賽事咧，如果各位現場觀眾有冇係已經即係睇足咁多日啦，睇埋今日決賽嘅觀眾喺度咧？我相信都唔少啦。記得一定要落力啲，因為我哋嘅運動員太啊！咁亦都相信我哋今日會有好多好精彩啦，亦都有好多好動人嘅時間啦，我哋今日喺我哋呢個比賽度發生嘅。其實我哋睇到啦，香港一個叫城市之都啦，其實香港公開羽毛球錦標賽咧都係我哋本港啊城市之一嚟嘅，而且咧已經係連續第10年咧就獲得翻喺一個叫做 M 品牌嘅認可啊。咁啊，咁多年以嚟咧，好多謝啦各位球迷，除咗多謝我哋本地香港球迷嘅支持之外咧，都要多謝啦好多從外地而來嘅球迷咧都好支持我哋咧香港呢一個嘅體壇嘅盛事㗎。因為呢個比賽實在真係雲集咗啦好多國際羽毛球壇嘅精英咧嚟到去比賽，實在係一個非常之高水平嘅賽事嚟㗎。咁啊啱啱提到啦，其實咧就係一個 M 品牌認可啊。咁其實究竟呢個 M 品牌究竟係乜嘢嚟嘅咧？不如大家有抬頭啦，望一望我哋場館嘅大電視，睇一睇呢一個嘅 M 品牌，大家會唔會有多啲嘅即係意念知道係咩事嚟嘅咧？
When you see this mark, you know it's something very special. This mark means it's a world-class sports event. Intense, spectacular, exciting. The M mark is reserved for the most prestigious international sports events in Hong Kong. To find out more about M mark events, please visit www.mos.org.hk. www.nevents.org.hk。
冇錯啦，要攞到呢一個 M mark 嘅認可咧，實在一啲都唔容易啊！咁所以咧，我哋嘅香港公開羽毛球錦標賽咧，一定係即係有翻咁上下水準咧，先至可以攞到啦呢一個叫做 M mark 呢一個嘅標記。咁其實咧，頭先我哋都講過啦，香港係一個體育盛事之都啦。除咗我哋有羽毛球咁精彩嘅比賽之外啦，咁啊另外獲得即係 M mark 呢一個咧咁緊要嘅標籤嘅體育比賽啦。我哋當然仲會有世界女排大獎賽啊，我哋會有咧其他嘅香港嘅馬拉松賽事啦，另外會有舞蹈節啦、高爾夫球比賽，甚至乎咧7人欖球賽等等啊。咁啊，各位體育迷其實喺香港咧都幾忙嘅，因為咧即係一年12個月咧，如果中意體育運動嘅話咧，我諗12個月你都真係忙到不得了，咁啊可以咧周圍穿梭喺香港唔同嘅地方咧，都可以咧欣賞到呢啲咧大型體育嘅比賽啦。咁啊當然啦，今日我哋講翻就係羽毛球，頭先提過我哋今日咧第一場咧會同大家欣賞嘅比賽咧就係一場咧女子雙打嘅比賽嚟嘅。咁啊比賽咧就將會我哋會喺1:30咧，我哋就會正式展開㗎啦。如果睇一睇啦，其實我哋咧第一場啊女雙嘅比賽，我哋咧就會見到個中國運動員咧就對住日本嘅球手啊。
very warm welcome to the Hong Kong Coliseum for finals day at the YONEX-SUNRISE Hong Kong Open, the last of the 12 tournaments on the MetLife BWF World Superseries. Of course, after this 12th event, there is one more Super Series event of the year, and that, of course, is the Super Series finals. The destination this year is Dubai, because the top 8 players and pairs in each of the 5 disciplines will qualify for the Super Series finals. There we can see it, 17th of December. Those Super Series finals start, so not long to go. And of course, it is only results from the Super Series tournaments that count towards qualifying for those Dubai Super Series finals. Well, as I say, it is finals day here at the YONEX-SUNRISE Hong Kong Open, and what a lineup we've got for you. We're starting with women's doubles and the world number ones, Matsutomo and Takahashi, up against the world and Olympic champions Tian Qing and Zhao Yunlei. Then women's singles and the 20-year-old Tai Su-ying of Chinese Taipei. She's up against the 19-year-old Nosumi Okuhara of Japan, former world junior champion, and in her 3rd consecutive final in 3 tournaments played. She's on a great run, that young Japanese player. Then we've got men's singles and the world champion Chen Long of China up against Seung-wan Ho of Korea. The Korean looking for his 2nd Super Series title in his 4th Super Series final. And then we've got mixed doubles and a repeat of both the Olympic and this year's World Championship final. Olympics, of course, from 2 years ago. Well, the gold medalists, Zhang Nan and Zhao Yunlei, 2-time former winners of this Hong Kong Open. They're up against Xu Chen and Ma Jin. Then the last of our finals this afternoon, the Asian Games gold medalists and 2013 world champions Mohammad Hassan and Hendra Setiawan. They're up against the number 6 seeds Liu Xiaolong and Chu Sihan from China. So it really is a wonderful lineup. I'm Jill Clark, and delighted to say that my friend and colleague Morten Frost has popped along and is going to be with us just for a short while this afternoon as we look at the destination Dubai rankings for the women's doubles. Well, of course, with the Japanese pair who are number 1, they're in the final. They consolidate their place. They will finish the year as world number 1s. But let me tell you that Tian Qing and Zhao Yunlei will go up to number 3. And of course, that means that the Danes will go down to number 4. Liu Ying and Liu Yu, they will go up to the 2nd ranked Chinese pair. They will go up to number 5, which means that they will be the 5th qualifiers. Remember, you can only have 2 pairs in the Super Series finals. Same applies to singles, of course, only 2 players in the singles. So it means that the 8th qualifiers, I can tell you, will be Meswari and Polly from Indonesia. And there you can see they were in the semi-final yesterday, lost to the number 1 pair. That was in the top half of the draw. 5 different nations at quarter-final stage, as you can see, 3 Chinese pairs and 2 Chinese pairs having to play each other in yesterday's semi-final. And it's those 2 Chinese pairs who, as I say, will qualify for the end of the year Super Series finals. Well, Morten, it really has been a frantic race for some players to qualify, and wonderful that the Chinese pair of Liu Ying and Liu Yu, semi-finalists, and the other semi-finalists in the women's doubles, the Indonesian pair, they have both just made it by virtue of their results here in the last of the tournaments.
Yeah, but that's amazing. That's really good. It's good that they can, keep the excitement going for that long.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah, it really is. And what a lineup when you consider you have world number 1s against world and Olympic champions. I don't think you could script it any better than that, could you?
No, absolutely not. Hopefully we're in for a very good match here.
Yeah. So led out by the world number 1s. Number 1 and 2 seeds through to this women's doubles final, as indeed is the case in the mixed doubles final as well. That mixed doubles is an all-Chinese affair, as I was saying. So Ayaka Takahashi, the first of the Japanese players leading them out. It's Misaki Matsutomo who's got the knee bandage on. No such distinction with the Chinese pair because they're both wearing knee bandages. And I can tell you that...
And we have to go by hairstyle or something like that.
Well, the taller of the two Chinese pairs, Zhao Yunlei, is one of the most famous badminton players and instantly recognisable the world over by badminton fans. She's also wearing the red shoes, if that's any help when they get into the fast rallies. Yeah. Winners of this title, the Chinese pair 2 years ago, appearing today in their third Hong Kong Open final because they were beaten finalists in 2011. For the Japanese pair, we talked about it yesterday, didn't we, Morton? They've made a steady improvement. The 4 years that they've been coming here to the Hong Kong Open, 3 years ago, lost in the last 16, 2 years in the quarter-final, last year's semi-final, and here they are in the final.
Yeah, that's a steady improvement.
Yeah, I guess that's what you coaches hope all your players do all the time.
Absolutely. And while we were sort of talking here, it's interesting to see that the Japanese, they won the toss and chose ends.
Well spotted.
So they will start, as far as I understood it, from the further end from here. So they will be facing us.
You know, every arena has a slight drift, so that's of no surprise that a pair winning the toss would want to choose ends. I'm always amazed when they don't choose ends and they choose to serve instead.
Especially these days when you can get points on whether you're serving or not. It doesn't really matter anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's look at the number one seeds first of all. Misaki Matsutomo on the left, 22 years of age, her partner 2 years older. They are the world number ones, enjoying their fourth week at the top of the world rankings. There you can see that they were given a walkover in the second round and went full distance against the number 8 seeds, Muskins and Peak from the Netherlands in the quarterfinal. And two tough games yesterday against the number 7 seeds, Polly and Meswari. 48 minutes, those two games. So Zhao Yunlei on the left, Tian Qing on the right as we look at them. Both 28 years of age, and as I say, this is their third Hong Kong Open final as a doubles pairing. Zhao Yunlei, of course, this is her 7th Hong Kong Open final, and later on this afternoon she'll contest her 8th Hong Kong Open final. That really is quite a record. Well, as you got a glimpse there, they went the full distance in their quarterfinal against the Koreans Jang Ye-na and Lee So-hee, new pair. And in the semi-final, beat their teammates Liu Ying and Liu Yu. So China has been fairly dominant in this women's doubles discipline here at the Hong Kong Open. They've won on the last 10 occasions. Now I actually make it the 12th meeting between these two pairs. But one thing is certain, the last time they met was in the semi-final of the China Open last week. 21-15, 21-16. It was in favour of Tian Qing and Zhao Yunlei. Our court officials for this, Justin Zhu of New Zealand and Stephen Temple of Wales.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Zhao Yunlei, Tian Qing, China. And on my left, Matsutomo Misaki, Takahashi Ayaka, Japan. Zhao Yunlei to serve to Takahashi Ayaka. Love all. Play.
So the world and Olympic champions nearest to us, Tian Qing and Zhao Yunlei, against the world number ones from Japan, Matsutomo and Takahashi. Now, Morton, you and I were discussing yesterday when the Japanese pair were playing against the Indonesians, Poli and Maswari. And we were talking about Matsutomo, and you particularly wanted to see her being more adventurous.
Yeah, a little bit more aggressive from the front of the court.
Yeah.
She's blocking a lot. Obviously, we have the benefit of watching players all over the world when they play tournaments. A little bit like Margin in the mixed doubles. She's blocking a lot. She's not really going for it. Here we have Matsutomo. She's got a lot of half chances and she's just blocking them all the time. And I would like to see that she's trying to, as you say, be a little bit more adventurous and go for some of them and add on the pressure. And especially if they're going to win this match, it will be important to them.
Yeah.
I don't think safety alone can do it for the Japanese today.
Well, this is the sort of rally that the Japanese pair absolutely love, isn't it?
It is, but I'm just convinced it's not enough.
No, I'm with you on that.
Because I think the Chinese will stand their grounds and then have a better attack when it comes to the crunch time.
Yeah.
So for me, if the Japanese pair combination should win today, they have to go in there, they have to take their chances, they have to play really positive badminton, score points, and Matsutomo really have to start taking a few chances.
And presumably that, if they can implement those tactics, also has the knock-on effect of keeping this lady away from the net,
Yes.
where we know she is
Dominant.
Absolutely. You don't win world and Olympic titles in both women's doubles and mixed doubles unless you're very, very good at the net.
Yeah.
This is certainly not the start that the Japanese pair were wanting.
And once again, we had a very fine example of it while the rally is going on here, was the return of serve by the Japanese. That's an area as well I would like to see them be more adventurous. Excuse me, that they really start pushing more, start taking more chances, add on more pressure. See, that's what we need. That's what the Japanese needs to do to keep this game alive, and they have to push on their return of serves as well. They have to be more difficult to serve, to add on the pressure on the first one as well.
Service over. 1-4.
Well, there's already discussions between the two Chinese players. Well, what to do in these long rallies. And it's a nice serve from Matsutomo.
2-4.
That's nice. That's really nice. Good serving. Perfect serving here by Matsutomo. The way she flicks that one completely wrong-footed Zhao Yunlei, and she had to leave it, and it was way in. That's good serving. So suddenly, from 4-love down, it's only 3-4, closing the gap.
Just wide. Well, there's a good reason why Matsutomo and Takahashi are the world number ones at the moment. This is their 7th final of the year. Oh, that's a good shot. Oh, follows it up with a superb angle. It has been challenged, it's called in, and we have Hawkeye in operation today.
I don't think they challenge it.
Oh, they don't challenge it.
No, I think they were debating with their coach, but
Well,
now it's too late.
Yeah. Well, I thought that Matsutomo put her hand up to
Yeah.
challenge, but
Yeah, but I think she sort of signaled to the coach, should I
yeah,
challenge it?
Yeah.
And obviously that's not the way it's intended to be.
Got to ask you about their Super Series record, though, Morton, this Japanese pair. This is their 8th Super Series final of their careers. And of the previous 7, they've only won 1.
Yeah.
Is it because inevitably in the Super Series, which is our elite tier of tournaments in World Badminton, that there is always, tends to be, at least 3 very good Chinese pairs? So you've got to beat them back to back to back to back, haven't you?
Something like that.
Yeah.
That's a very good explanation for what's happening. But I also think that what I discussed, or what we talked about earlier, is that, you know, the Japanese, they have to get out of their shell. They have to start working on, you know, when they're up against the really, really good pairs, the top 3 in the world, they have to learn how to score points. They cannot only rely on their running.
Yeah.
And it takes time.
Mm. Yeah. Now you see, that's the sort of interception at the net where she's really hunting the shuttle that you just don't see from the Japanese pair.
No, and that's, you know, when, again, if you analyze the kind of points the Chinese are getting compared to the points that the Japanese is getting,
Yeah.
you would see when Japan is winning it, they have worked 5 minutes
Yes.
to win the point. But all the easy points, if we can say that, they will go the Chinese way.
Yeah.
They will score the easy ones,
Yeah.
where the Japanese really have to work for theirs, and that again is adding on the pressure on the Chinese, or sorry, on the Japanese, how to win.
Yeah. And that sort of error signals to me that actually they themselves don't know how to win the point. They're going for something that isn't really on.
That's not their strongest suit.
Yeah.
But I still like the attempt.
Yeah.
I think the idea was fine. Obviously the execution was not the best, but the idea was okay.
Well, that had been a run of 6 straight points by the World and Olympic champions. So to the mid-game interval. Chinese pair of Tian Qing and Zhao Yunlei with a 5-point advantage.
Yeah.
And the part of the problem, I suppose, Morton, you know, I make this the 12th meeting between the 2 pairs, and the Japanese I make have only won 3 of them.
Yes.
And psychologically, that's difficult.
That's a
isn't it?
burden.
Yeah.
I know. You know, I get this. I have this ambivalent feeling towards this, because the Japanese, they were 4-love down, 5-1 up, 5-4 up, and then 10-5 down. But when they got 5-4 up, they played their normal patient game, and it was actually the Chinese that couldn't really cope with it. So I'm sort of caught in 2 camps, so to speak. Would the normal game from the Japanese, will that actually work today? Because the Chinese are not having the patience to play, because they play 5 errors just like that.
Yeah.
And then the Japanese tried to be more adventurous and they lost it. Should they play patient today,
Yeah.
you never know.
Mm. Oh,
That's good by Matsutomo.
yeah.
And then a changeover.
Yeah. There was 2 in that rally where she made the effort, real good effort to intercept. Couldn't play the winner, but her whole attitude at the net there was far more positive.
It was. She just
11.
normally, under normal circumstances, she would just block it. But as I say, we have the benefit of watching so many matches
Yeah.
over a year, so we've seen it so many times. Yeah, that's going wide.
Yeah.
Twelve. 7.
Short. Oh my goodness, the
Yeah.
confusion. Player at the back of the court should have come forward, I think, probably, Morton.
Definitely. See, that's where Takahashi had a counter-attacking opportunity and she just lifted it.
Yeah, she should have driven the shuttle.
Across.
Yep. Yeah, this is much, much better badminton. Good rally.
Service over. 8. 12. Play.
You know, unfortunately, neither you or I got to see the last time that the Japanese pair beat this Chinese pair, which of course was in the semi-final of the women's team competition at the Asian Games. 21-19 in the deciding game it was in favour of the Japanese pair. And I can't help but wonder, were they attacking then or were they patient? Given everything that you've just been saying, I'm now intrigued. Did well to defend that, Tiang Qing.
She did. That's out.
Yeah. But presumably you like that idea again.
Once again, I really liked it. Whether they can really carry it off is another matter.
30.
But tactically, I think it's okay. They're really pushing the limits of what they can do.
Yeah, because I do think that Zhao Yunlei, if there's a weakness, and I say this in relative terms because
Always.
you know, she's a wonderful, wonderful player. But I do think her forehand
And
defence.
defence. There is a small gap.
Yeah. It's landed in. Oh no, that's been called out. No, surely.
I couldn't see it for the camera.
8.
Well, Japanese not challenging. I hope they do realise that Hawkeye is here today.
That's out. But that's actually my thoughts as well. Do
Yeah.
they know
Yeah.
they can challenge?
Yes, because unfortunately Hawkeye had some logistical problems getting here from China. But they are here today. Hawkeye operators raring to go.
That's it.
Yeah.
Service over. 9. 15. 15.
She's got a good smash, Takahashi.
Yeah.
Good power from the back.
Was it their quarterfinal or semi-final that we were particularly noticing this cross-court smash? I think it was the semi, wasn't it?
15.
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got good power,
Yeah.
definitely. And Matsutoma had a chance, a half chance of driving it flat. She was attacked and she had a counter-attacking opportunity, but she just chose to lift it. And I was just sitting here saying,
16.
she could have done something about
Yeah.
that.
11.
See, that's too easy. She had a good chance of pushing that much deeper, that return of serve.
Goodness me, what extraordinary defence from Chow Yun Lei. Instead of going for the forehand action,
17.
kept it on the
11.
backhand stance, even though it was going down her forehand side. Take a look at this if we can.
And with a little bit of luck with the frame and
Yeah.
everything, it worked beautifully. That's
Missed
out.
it.
Yeah.
Service over. 12. 17.
Oh, a little bit of discrepancy as to whether to change the shuttle or not. Umpire agrees with the Chinese players. Yeah, the Japanese coaches. Ryumi Manaki and Kai Nakajima.
Surely she should not be able to get away with that. She almost did.
Service over. 13.
It
17.
was an odd choice, this one here.
Yeah.
By Sao Yun Lei.
Luck of the net cords with the Chinese pair.
Service over.
Other thing that I think is very noticeable in this women's doubles, Morton, when we compare it to some of the matches, men's doubles matches we saw last week and earlier in this Hong Kong Open, I think these players, when they attack, it's all hard smashes or there's a drop shot. There's none of those, what you Danes call the stick shot.
Yeah, the steep smashes, the
Exactly.
half smashes.
Here we go again.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's-
either full power or nothing.
Yeah. There's the slow drop shot and another slow drop shot. Then the attempted power play again. I'd love to see some more of these cuts and these angles. That
Yeah, and more variations in their
Yeah.
attack and angles as well.
yeah.
13.
One player about to serve. Good smash straight down the line.
Game point 13.
Yeah.
I know it looks very convincing and his game point is 2013. But if you take the two very lucky points away from the Chinese, so it's 18-15, it would have been 17-15 and it would have been a lot closer.
Yeah.
I talk about the defense, the backhand defense of Sao Yunlei and the next one where she hit the tape. Just take those two away. And here we have a third one,
Yeah.
also clipping the tape. You know, it's a lot closer than 21-13.
Yeah. I think that's a very good point, Morton. Because it does, on paper, look very convincing. This is the final rally of that opening game. There's the lucky net cord on the drop shot. And the opening game, 21-13. 21 minutes of play. And the former champions, one game to the good. Good to see Chinese teammates and Japanese teammates all sitting here, watching, supporting. Well, the players asked to return to court. There's our dignitaries watching the finals. This is the 27th staging of the Hong Kong Open. I'm just looking down the list of past winners.
Second game.
Morton in women's doubles, as we're about to get the second game underway. Only 8 times from the previous 26 Hong Kong Opens has it been a non-Chinese pair to win the women's doubles.
Yeah, but China has been so dominant over the years in women's doubles, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Talking from experience here.
Yeah.
Painful.
Why did I mention it? Why did I bring it all up?
Shot yourself in the foot.
I did, didn't I? My goodness.
1-love.
So, again, you know me, my little brain here is now thinking, why did the Japanese choose that end to start with? Was it because it was the bad end for them, or was it because it was the good end?
I think because it was the bad end.
Okay, so what we are saying here is that Japan should have a better chance of winning the second game because now they feel they stand on the good side.
Yeah. And I think that, I know we've only had 2 rallies, but I honestly think, I felt there was more body language showing more positivity.
Okay, let's see.
Now, she does love that cross-court smash across the body of the player on the cross-court side.
But she can only get away with it because she's got good pace in her smash.
Yeah.
It's over. 2-all.3, 2. So it's over. 3-all.
That's good by Matsutoma, but I was just going to say Chan Ching. Look at her defense. It's really good. She's playing a lot of good counter-attacking shots. This time she got punished for it, but on so many other occasions she has played really good shots.
So it's over. 4-all.
Oh, that was well taken.
Yeah, that's good play.
5-4.
Nice to see Guo Zhengdong on the coach's bench. Former men's doubles player, recently retired. Won a World Championship bronze medal, didn't he, with Zhu Chen?
You're pushing me here.
Yeah, 2010. Slanted in.
Just enough to get it over Zhao Yunlei. Just enough. Get this in slow motion. Have a look.
5-all.
She couldn't reach it.
Yeah. Also wrong-footed, so she couldn't actually jump.
Yeah.
So 5-all.
know, Jill, I actually think you're very right. Don't look so surprised. I think the Japanese should have a real go at Zhao Yunlei.
Yeah.
Chen Jing is really playing well. Playing a lot of good shots, lots of power from the back. She's following in. She's really playing very strongly today, I think. Zhao Yunlei seems to be the weaker link of the two on today's performance. And I think the Japanese should have a real go at her. That's out.
And they won't be able to have a real go at her while she's at the net.
No.
So first and foremost, get her away from that net position.
On many occasions, when she's at the back, she's opting to play these drop shots. And sometimes I think they should just take the chance and try to step into it.
Yeah. I don't believe it.
She got it back. And here comes the drop shot.
That wasn't the right one.
That's good recovery by Matsutomo. That is a beautiful shot. Look at that.
Yeah, wonderful. Got herself out of trouble.
She seems to be such a quiet person. There's not a lot of communication between the two Japanese, but they have a very good understanding. They don't talk a lot.
That was the one I felt that she played herself into trouble, but
She did.
as you say, that backhand was a beauty. Do you remember last week, Morton, we were talking about Lin Dan? I think it was in his semi-final, maybe even quarter-final. And we were talking about playing against a reputation rather than playing the player.
Yes.
And I'm wondering, you know, whether players in women's doubles are too much playing against the player, or the reputation of
So you know.
yeah, rather than the player.
At the moment, possibly yes.
Yeah. So to the mid-game interval, it's exactly the same points difference as we had in the opening game, but in total contrast to the opening game, the advantage here in the second is with the Japanese pair. So 11-6. Other thing that I've been looking very carefully at, well, this has been in progress, Morton, is the contrast of Zhao Yunlei when she's at the net to Matsutomo when she's at the net. And I'm talking about when the partner is smashing from the back of the court.
Where they're standing.
And Zhao Yunlei very definitely comes back in court, almost towards her partner.
Yes.
At the back of the court, not literally towards her partner, but moving
closing the gap between the two.
Exactly. So she's further away from the net, and as her partner is hitting, she's moving forward.
Matsutomo is standing on the front line.
Yeah.
Basically.
Doesn't move backwards at all.
No.
There's a
and
little
that's
bit
why
of
she can't intercept in the same way.
Bit of sideways movement, but no real forward back movement. It's gone long. That was a better angle.
Yeah, that's where Zhao Yunlei is so good on that forehand. And I think had Matsutomo really challenged her, she should have gone cross court, but at the net. Here, look at that.
Yeah.
Zhao Yunlei would always look for that forehand. And then, you know, tempt her, play the backhand cross court. Let's see what happens. Can she really get to it?
How many drop shots now?
Yeah, 4.
It's landing in. Oh, it's called wrong. Four points since the mid-game interval, all 4 points to the Chinese pair. Service fault called, struck above the waist, says our service judge, Stephen Temple. Oh, yeah, crikey.
It's going wide, yeah.
5 of the last 6 points for the Chinese pair. Yeah, that's nice placement on that final shot from Tiang Qing. Playing it cross court. That wasn't easy.
No, and Matsutomo has really got no answer to it. It's very difficult for her to defend it. It's almost like cricket. You know, when they're bowling and then they're forcing the batsman to play a shot.
I didn't know you were a cricket fan. You've lived in England too long.
Yeah, 7 years. It was South Africa as well.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah.
So yes, I've been watching some cricket, and you know when they place the fielders and
Yes,
the batsman is coming, you know, he's got no option but to play that shot.
Yeah.
And that's what's Matsutomo. She was in a fix
Yeah.
when she was playing that shot.
What a very good analogy. That is a wonderful, wonderful smash from Tiang Qing. Well, she's won so many career titles, 18 women's doubles with 5 different partners, Tiang Qing, and I can remember some time ago head coach Lee Yongbo was singing her praises and saying she's a flexible character and flexible in her style, so she can play with virtually anyone. And do you remember when she used to play with Pan Pan?
Yes.
And they were one of those pairs that were doing well on the world circuit, but never really winning the big titles. And then they got thrown together, this pair that we're watching now, the world and Olympic champions, at the Asian Games in Guangzhou in 2010 because Cheng Shu was injured. And as they say, the rest is history.
No.
They won the gold medal.
And you never look back.
And you never look back. But
No.
it is it's amazing because we all talk about Zhao Yunlei because she wins the mixed doubles as well. But we forget how good Tiang Qing is as well.
She is very good. Very, very good. And in today's match, I think she's far better than Zhao Yunlei. I know she missed that one.
Yeah, but it had been 8 of the last 9 points, which really does signal a shift in momentum. Not happy with that one either.
15-13.
So despite the very good lead at the mid-game interval, 11-6 I think it was.
It was indeed.
The Chinese now are up 15-13 and standing a very good chance here of closing it in 2 games, 16-13.
16-13.
That's nice defence. Oh, why is a let? Why is he called a let?
I don't think he really knows himself.
Oh my goodness, what on earth was that about? We've got one of the deputy referees coming on,
Yeah, let's see.
Ivanka Pokini. No, it's something gone wrong with the technical side of things. I don't think the players all look bemused. I'm bemused.
They had to play late.
Yeah, but why did he...
Must be interference from outside somehow.
From the coaches?
I have no idea.
Here we go, maybe... Well, did some strapping come off, or...? Did he call off a double hit, or...?
Yeah, but
This is...
a double hit is not a let.
No, exactly. And this is... I had a word with the tournament referee earlier in the week. And... hang on, here we go. And once again, he's covering his microphone, so we can't hear.
Yeah.
I spoke to the tournament referee, Carsten Koch, and I said, look, we need to hear. You need to give a directive to the umpires not to cover the microphone because we need to know what's going on.
Yeah.
We haven't a clue.
Yeah. So now it was really a let. Play once again, 16-13.
Yeah, it's Tian Qing once again making the difference.
Thirteen.
11 of the last 13 points. You shouldn't really be able to do this against the world #1 ranked pair, surely.
No, but it happens now and again.
Yeah.
Tian Qing has really played well.
Mm. Yeah, once again. So in football terms, she'd get man of the match award.
Yes, yes. she
Look at
would.
that, that's beautiful. What great control, that's super. Yeah, and again. And now just 2 points away from a second title here at the Hong Kong Open. good defence.
Yeah, there have been so many of those shots. Good follow-up.
Well, I would love to know what the Chinese coaches said in the mid-game interval, because since then they have won 14 of the last 16 points. There they are. Whatever you said, gentlemen, was spot on.
Must have been, yes.
Seven match point opportunities. Only needed the one. 21-13, 21-13. Symmetry in the scoreline. And what a performance by the world and Olympic champions, beating the world number ones in 2 straight games to regain the title that they won 2 years ago. Yeah, the fans here at the Hong Kong Coliseum are thoroughly enjoying that performance. So symmetry in the scoreline. And Morton, it really was a tremendous... I really thought at the mid-game interval of that second game...
We were sure to go to 3.
Yeah.
Yes, me too. But I would say, though, that 21-13, 21-13, that's not fair.
Yeah.
It's not a fair reflection of the match.
No.
And it looks like it's overwhelming, and I definitely think the Japanese were in there, they had their chances, and 13-13 just doesn't give justice.
No, well, 53 minutes confirms exactly what you have just verbalised, because a match that lasts 53 minutes very rarely isn't a scoreline of just 13-13. Well, I think our host broadcasters are probably going to manage to get a word with the winners
on the ground.
So hopefully we will be able to listen in.
恭喜赵云雷、陈星，除了这一次呢，今年在世界赛拿了冠军以外，这一次是在这个召集赛第3个的冠军了。我想请问你一下，从年头到年尾现在，你们是怎么保持这么充沛的精力，而打到现在还能夺冠呢？
可能来自于平常的训练吧。然后因为现在随着年龄的增长，可能会多去保護自己，盡量少受傷，然後能夠正常的訓練的話，我覺得比賽就能夠很好的發揮。
咁佢哋咧就話係年頭打到年尾啦，咁年頭又攞個冠軍，年尾而家又可以攞冠軍，加上咧係世錦賽嘅冠軍，點樣可以保持自己咧係唔受傷咧，同埋精力充沛咧？就係平時訓練嘅時候咧比較小心，亦都而家有經驗啦，係識得點樣去保護自己。張蘭趙雲雷，我想問你一下，你跟張蘭也打混雙，那你們在這方面也有很好的成績，你又打混雙，我想問你。你在这个沟通方面跟你的拍檔是怎麼樣做得最好的呢？
因為我們每年有很多比賽吧，然後比賽就會遇到很多困難，然後不同的很強的對手，的確有很多問題吧，包括跟張楠的混雙，跟田青的女雙，我們就是要不停的溝通，就是出現問題就都要說出來，然後兩個人不停的去說一起去解決這個問題吧，不能讓說有矛盾或就越來越大吧。
咁佢就話咧喺溝通方面咧，因為佢又打混雙啦，咁又打女雙啦，咁佢覺得咧一遇到困難嘅時候咧，就要咧即刻同呢個拍檔咧去溝通啦，就絕對唔可以咧積埋嘅，如果唔係咧一積多咗咧就比較困難啲。
Well, I understand
非常恭喜你們，會講廣東話嗎？
Been asked about the fact that this is their 4th title of the year.
少少啊。
好，謝謝你們，希望你們到杜拜的時候也有非常好的成績，再拿冠軍，謝謝。
And just to confirm that, Indonesia Super Series, Australian Super Series, the World Championship title, of course, and now the Hong Kong as well. also understand that the players were talking about the fact that the communication between the two of them is very good, and that's a huge part of their success. So we're just about ready, I think, for our prize presentation.
各位觀眾，我哋而家會頒發嘅咧就係今屆賽事女雙嘅獎項。And the prize presentation is now begun。我哋有請我哋嘅頒獎嘉賓，民政事務局局長曾德成局長 GBSJP，Mr. 曾택成 GBSJP Secretary for Home Affairs。另外亦都有香港羽毛球總會有限公司會長湯恩佳博士 SBS MBE DBA，Dr. Tong Yong Kai SBS MBE Association Limited。另外，我哋嘅頒獎嘉賓亦都有康樂及文化事務處李美常處長 JP、Miss Michelle Lee JP、Director of Leisure and Cultural Services。另外，亦都有 Sunrise Group of Companies 嘅總經理葉正儀小姐嘅 Miss Helena 葉，General Manager Sunrise Sports Limited。同埋就係大都會人壽香港區行政總裁楊斌官先生㗎，嚟到我哋啦。幾位嘅嘉賓啊 ，Mr. Leonard Yong Chief Executive Officer，MetLife Hong Kong， 多謝晒咁多位嘅頒獎嘉賓。好啦，我哋嘅頒獎禮而家要開始啦。我哋首先呢，就係有請曾鈺成局長啦，為我哋頒發獎牌俾我哋嘅得獎運動員。有請我哋嘅得獎運動員。亞軍就係嚟自日本嘅組合。重有美佐紀同埋咧高橋禮華，獲得我哋今屆賽事女雙嘅銀牌。
So the world number ones, Misaki Matsutomo and Ayaka Takahashi, having to settle for second best for a 7th time in their 8 Super Series tournament finals. But they have done better this year here at the Hong Kong Open than they've ever done before, and they should be congratulated for that. 7th final of the year, but for the champions, the Hong Kong Open, once again, the title that they first won in 2012, they regain it here in 2014. A 4th title of the year for the world and Olympic champions. So not only the medals, the trophy as well. It's a 14th career title for these two as a pair. And having been beaten finalists last week at the China Super Series event, they go one better this week in Hong Kong. Prize money as well. The 3rd Super Series title of the year for our champions.恭喜晒得獎運動員，亦都咧多謝我哋嘅頒獎嘉賓，咁亦都請我哋嘅頒獎嘉賓咧可以移步咧去到我哋嘅觀眾席啦，繼續欣賞咁精彩嘅比賽。
眾都好自動波啦嘛！我哋再次俾熱烈嘅掌聲，恭喜我哋2014香港公開羽毛球錦標賽女雙嘅亞軍同埋冠軍代表，分別咧就係嚟自日本同埋中國嘅女雙組合，恭喜晒你哋！咁一場咧咁精彩嘅女雙比賽之後咧，我哋精彩嘅賽事咧會一浪接一浪㗎。咁啊嚟緊咧，我哋仲會女雙打完之後，下一場比賽我哋咧就會有女單嘅賽事㗎。